Welcome back to Lifting with Lions. I need to think of a new intro. That one's getting pretty stale. What can we say besides welcome back to Lifting with Lions?
John Cena!
Watch out, watch out, watch out. Yeah. That would be a way better intro.
Gotta pay royalties real quick on that one.
Yep. And just now, I'm so glad right before we started recording, I was like, I better silence my phone because I always get on a group chat right as we start recording. And right as we said that, I had something pop up on my computer that people are texting me. So
Giving you ideas.
Yeah.
Don't use John Cena.
Yeah, I think it's some agency telling us that we owe them money now.
You can't see me.
All right, so next time, look forward to our John Cena intro. Today, we wanted to talk about the state of the podcast, how far you guys have brought us. We're actually really, really excited to talk about this. This isn't just about like where Tenny and I are at with lifting, but where the actual podcast is at. I'm just going to let Tenny really runs most of, well, pretty much everything outside of the audio. So he does all of the social so far.
The PR.
Yeah, PR, talks to people, the message. Anyway, so I'm going to let you take it away.
Yeah. So our goals for this year on the podcast, I think for this first half of the year, which we're pretty much getting through right now, was to get the podcast up and running, get a functional website, and just try to hit an episode a week. And we also really wanted to kind of get into all of the possible platforms that we could for distributing the podcast. But that actually went smoother than I expected. And I mean, we got on pretty much every major listening platform really quickly and got the website up and going. And so we've been able to just kind of focus on the episodes. And they've been, I feel like, really good so far. I think the biggest thing is that they just feel fluid now. I feel like listening back on them, the first 5 especially were a little stiff where we were figuring out kind of how to do it. But they feel a lot more relaxed now. So I've definitely seen a change in just like how comfortable and free flowing the podcast has become.
Yeah.
So that's been a big change that I've seen. But one of the biggest things I wanted to talk about was just the extent to which the podcast has been listened to. And pulling up the stats right here. So as of right now, we have 400 downloads of the podcast, which I don't know. I think that's pretty good.
Yeah,
I'm pretty happy with that.
Considering that we haven't done much social media and we haven't done much outreach to get people to listen to it, we really just threw it out there. We hardly even told people about it. We just put it out on all of the platforms, and if people have found it, it's been pretty much organically searching.
Yeah, exactly.
For lifting podcasts.
We're in 9 countries right now: United States, Australia, Canada, Saudi Arabia, Germany, Switzerland, India, Japan, and Sweden. And Saudi Arabia is actually our 4th highest. So that's pretty interesting. I wasn't expecting that at all.
They're probably a lot more fit over there than we even anticipated.
Yeah, and I don't know the extent of like the full Middle Eastern view on bodybuilding and fitness, but it's become super big in areas like Dubai.
Yeah.
It's become like a massive hub for bodybuilding and fitness. So I could see where people in the Middle East would have learned a lot more about it from that. And it's also become really popular in India. Bodybuilding's always been pretty popular there for the past 30 years.
Yeah.
But within the last 10, it's gotten a lot bigger there. I was really excited to actually see that we had people listening in India, because India is always one place that I've hoped the podcast would reach, just because they have so many people there that are really passionate about bodybuilding.
Yeah.
It's like every forum you go on, every question site, like you go on Quora or something, every time there's a question about bodybuilding, there's always a couple people from India who are getting engaged in it. So
yeah, that's sweet. I've got to be honest, I've been surprised about all this because I wasn't really sure that there were a lot of people in some of these countries that even understood English really well. It's obviously not their main language. So it'd be a second language to a lot of people that are listening to this.
Yeah. And I don't know. I mean, I guess we have a decent perspective on that because we both speak multiple languages.
Yeah.
So I guess I follow some stuff in German.
Right.
And I try to follow stuff in Norwegian because I'm trying to learn Norwegian and Swedish.
Yeah.
But I can handle German fine. And so it's like super comfortable as a second language. But then I can also do a decent amount of like Norwegian. And I can understand most stuff when I'm in the Netherlands. But I don't know, listening to a podcast in Norwegian or something, that's like a whole different matter because it's a lot different speech. It's harder to pick up on context, I feel like, when you're listening to a podcast. So I think that's really cool that people are listening to our podcast with that as their second language.
Yeah. So first of all, if you're listening to this and English is your second language, then let us know how understandable we are, or just let us know that you're listening. And secondly, I'd be really interested to know how worldwide Doritos are. Like, what kind of international outreach does Dorito have going?
Yeah,
are you in a different country and you're like, what is a Dorito?
Maybe regional too in the U.S. In the Southwest, maybe we should just say like Takis to Doritos.
Takis to Doritos. Would that make more sense? What's your favorite triangle-shaped snack, I guess, chip?
In Germany, they have these little like peanut crisp things. Mm-hmm. I can't remember what they're called. They're like Erdnuss flips or something. But we should just find the global equivalent of Cheetos and Doritos in every country.
Make an episode for it. Cheetos to Doritos equivalent. So what's your favorite triangle-shaped snack? Why don't you just tweet it at us? We don't even have a Twitter, do we? Just send it to us on Instagram then. Tortilla chips, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, yeah. I'm going to ask Doritos that, and we'll get back to you next time. And if they're not in every country, we're going to get them there.
Yeah, that'll be our new goal. Nothing with fitness. It'll
Taking
be
Doritos.
Advocates for Doritos. I don't even like Doritos, honestly. I'm not a chip guy.
You can't say that, Tanny. Doritos not going to be our sponsor anymore.
I think the only chips I really like are Ruffles.
Ruffles.
I'm a fan of Ruffles, especially like cheddar Ruffles.
Yeah, those are good.
And Pringles. I don't know how you can't like Pringles.
Yeah. I like Tapatio Doritos. Have you had those?
I haven't.
No, they're not bad. They're spicier.
Cool Ranch ones are good, though.
Yeah, those are pretty good. That's the stuff that every kid wants when there's one of those packs that have a bunch of different kinds of chips. Then you end up,
right? No one wants the Fritos.
Yeah, you end up with just
chili.
Fritos and some Lay's.
Yeah.
Just basic potato chips, which really aren't bad.
Those
I'd
snack
take that.
pack boxes were the worst.
I know.
It's like 80% garbage.
Why don't they just do a bunch of little bags?
It's probably
of Cool
why.
Ranch
It's because no one's buying those, so they want to sell them.
What's left over in their factories, they put it in the
it's just bulk them with the
packs.
Cheetos and Ruffles.
Yep. So I guess now we're really not getting a sponsorship for Doritos.
Yeah, my bad.
But there's hope. There's
maybe
other
we'll
things
just appeal to like their corporate overlords. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's like Gerber, where Gerber owns like 9,000 other companies.
You know, I think that actually probably is the case.
Not Gerber. Gerber is owned by, I can't remember. Nestle.
Nestle, yes.
Nestle owns 9,000 companies, and of that are like Gerber baby food, Gerber knives, like just random, completely unrelated stuff.
Pretty sure they own a few countries too.
Probably.
Could be wrong.
Switzerland.
Yep.
But as far as it goes in the States, where the huge majority of all of our listeners are, we're Utah based, so it's no surprise that Utah is number one. Mm-hmm. That's where 93 of our listeners are from. But then we've got 40 in Alabama. And between 40 and 25 listeners, we've got Alabama, Virginia, California, North Carolina, and then Georgia. So
nice.
That's pretty cool because it kind of reaffirms that it's not just like friends and family listening to it.
Yeah.
It's all over the States. And then we have a bunch of unknown, like 53 unknown, which is probably people using VPNs or something.
Yeah, it makes sense. Duck, duck, go, so people can't track you.
Yeah. Maybe one day we'll be sponsored by a VPN like everyone on YouTube seems to be.
Yeah, I guess that would be great. I'm just wondering how many people are listening to us on incognito mode so people don't know they're listening to lifting
Yeah.
podcasts.
But kind of going back to the second language thing, I want to segue that into sharing kind of stories of people who have reached out to us so far.
Yeah.
And this has been surprising because we've had a couple people, like 3 to 5 people so far, who have reached out to us and pretty much hit us up with like their whole diet plans and their workout routines and said, hey, love the podcast. I've been listening to all the episodes that have come out. I really like this part of it. What do you think of this plan? Is there any way that you would improve this? How would you kind of tweak this to see this improvement in my own body? And it's been crazy because it's kind of surreal to have people quote what we've said back to us online.
Yeah.
It's just kind of weird feeling.
Yeah.
But it's also been cool that people are following along and actually doing their own plans.
Yeah.
So we've had like 5 other people who have messaged us already and been like, hey, this is my whole workout plan. I've been hitting it really hard at the gym. You guys kind of inspired me to like really get into it and get going. And that's just been really cool. So going back to the second language thing, even if you're not a first language English speaker, hit us up. Like we're more than comfortable working through like some language barriers to help give you some advice.
Tenny and I have both been terrible at speaking other languages at some point.
Yeah.
We know what it's like to be that person. We've been through that in the country.
First phase when you are first learning a language and you just butcher everything.
Yep. Sometimes I still do. I feel like I'm a little better than I was when I started, though.
Yeah. I mean, I was lucky because I grew up with German.
Yeah.
But, dude, every other language is so hard.
Yeah. So we got you. German or Spanish.
Yeah. If you speak German or any Scandinavian language or any kind of branch of a Germanic language, I could probably work through it with you. And if you've got Spanish, hit up Jared because I'm completely lost on that front. I took Spanish for 8 years and I can't even handle like ordering food. So.
Yeah, learning Spanish sucks in school.
Yeah, Romance languages aren't my thing. They're hard. It's a very different rhythm too.
Oh yeah,
to speaking it.
Definitely. But it is so freaking cool that we have people that are actually reaching out to us. And that's something that we really wanted to highlight was that, first of all, Tenny lives for this stuff. That's why we made this podcast in the first place.
I do. It's so fun for me to interact with people online. And I showed Jared one of the conversations and it was like...
It was a long one.
It was massive.
Yeah.
It was like 70 messages back and forth.
And not in a bad way, but it was a long one.
Yeah, so I'm more than willing to chat with you about where you're at and give you some advice.
So do it. Seriously, we love it.
And where can they reach us, Jared?
They can, well, first of all, if you want to email us, we can be found at liftingwithlions@gmail.com. Or even better, it'd be better to reach out to us on Instagram. Just look up Lifting with Lions. You'll see the lion with the gold headphones. That's probably the best because it's the easiest to message back and forth quickly.
Yeah, we'll get the notifications quickest for that one. It's just an easy messaging system.
Yeah, and we're millennials, not boomers. So we don't use email all the time. Okay, boomer.
But yeah, follow us on Instagram and send us a message on there if you ever have any questions. And we'll try to get back to you pretty quickly on that. Also, check out our website because we do have resources on there and some guides. And
our podcast is on there.
Yeah.
So you can actually listen to it from our website.
Yeah, you can. And that's liftingwithlions.com.
But more importantly, I mean, if you like this, we're obviously not asking for money. We don't have a Patreon or anything.
Yeah.
So share it with people you know. I mean, the one person who you were talking about, who you had a big conversation with, I think the podcast was shared to them by one of their friends.
Yeah, and
we don't know either
we talked
of them.
about it, and he shared it on his story, and it was really cool.
Yeah, so I mean, that'd be really great if
we really appreciate it. because it's definitely difficult starting a podcast and getting it up and running just because I think the podcast market is so saturated.
Yeah, definitely.
And we're not paying for advertising or anything, so it's a bit harder too because you have these podcasts who just like are owned by a company or something, like a development company, and they just dump like $1,000 a month into advertising.
Yeah.
It just fills up the market really quick. So we really appreciate any shout outs or any shares that you get with your friends or anyone you think is interested.
Yeah, I mean, we're terrible at marketing on top of it.
Yeah, we are.
That's
I'm good at picking things up and putting them down.
Yeah, that's kind of the point. You know, Gravity has nothing on Tenny. He could just pick stuff up
Yeah,
and put it back down.
completely unfazed.
And I can make
physics.
audio sound good sometimes, and I can also make things look good, but I don't know my way around social media.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you see our videos, they'll probably be pretty high quality, but I don't know what to put on socials. So please share it. We promise we won't embarrass your friends or anything.
Yeah.
Say anything that'll make them cringe. Actually, I can't promise that. Depends on your outlook on Sherpas and Doritos.
It's true. If you are a Sherpa, it'd be awkward.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I haven't talked to a lot of Sherpas.
I haven't talked to any, actually. I think exactly 0 for me.
Weird.
Yeah.
Well, you really ought to sometime.
Yeah, our podcast hasn't really hit Nepal yet, so
Yep.
it'll get there.
I'm sure it will.
Yeah, watch that be our like biggest demographic in 2 years. This is going to be
It really hit home.
Sherpas from Nepal listening to our podcast. It's going to be a bunch of jacked Sherpas.
I hope so.
Over
And I
there.
hope they send pictures.
And hey, we live in Utah, so we know about some high altitude training.
That's true.
So maybe we
I
could
mean, everything we do
touch
is pretty
base.
much high altitude training.
It's true.
Oh man, there's nothing like I lived in Chile for 2 years, and they're at a whole different sea level than we are here. And I remember when I got there, I could bike and run all day. Man,
Yeah, I've always been a weak runner.
Yeah.
In Utah, and I went to Germany, and when I lived there, because here in in Utah, I mean, my running was terrible.
oh yeah,
And when I went to Germany, I hadn't run in 3 years, and I went out to run a mile my first day there just to kind of work off the jet lag, and it was like 6 minutes and 5 seconds,
yeah,
and I was like, "Whoa, sea level's different."
yeah, man. You get back and you try running, and it's not your muscles getting sore that's the problem. It's that your lungs light on fire.
Yeah,
It's terrible.
yeah, and when the air's bad because of like smog and stuff and pollution, it's just
Yeah.
it's like breathing mustard gas and trying to run. So
Yeah.
it's
So,
definitely different training in different elevations.
yeah. So what does that have to do with the podcast?
Well, it has to do with the podcast because maybe we'll talk about using implements like oxygen masks in the gym. Some people will wear those.
Yeah.
It's oxygen training masks.
Work out like Darth Vader.
Yeah. But another thing is it'll be interesting to talk about the balancing that has to go into international competitions to have athletes from sea level places come to compete in something like the Salt Lake Olympics.
Yeah.
Because
That was
that's a
something.
huge factor that not a lot of people think about. Is that adjustment to altitude?
Yeah. Actually, sports teams and athletes come to train in Utah for that reason.
Yeah.
Because they like hurting themselves and their lungs.
Exactly. They're sadists. Yeah.
Uh-huh. But then they go somewhere else if they've trained in Utah the whole time, and it's easy. It's like
Totally.
you said.
And we've got good snow here. So I know a lot of countries will come here from international places here in Colorado to train and do skiing so they get used to high altitude.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, granted, if you're skiing, you're usually at a higher altitude anyway, but
Yeah.
other sports too. But yeah, hit us up on Instagram and send us any messages if you guys want to get in contact and have any questions. I guess as far as what our goals are for the podcast going forward, I think that my biggest goal next year in 2022, I think it would be really cool to work up to possibly attending like FitCon or something.
Yeah, we would really like to do something like that. So if you are here in Utah, we'll let you know if we'll be there and you can come visit us.
Yeah, that'd be super cool. Maybe we can get in touch with some people over the next year and see if any products, especially Utah products, like I think Kodiak Cakes is Utah.
Is it?
I think it might be. I don't know. Maybe it's Colorado.
I have no idea.
Some local stuff. Maybe we can get in contact with them and see if they have any kind of outreach stuff with their products and kind of hit people up and let them know about the stuff out there that's worked for us. Got anything to add?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, while we're on the subject of reaching out to us, and we really actually hope you do. If you hear this, please do it. That would be way cool. But tell us what you want to hear more about. I mean, we've got a lot of stuff that we talk about all the time that we want to get to. So we've got like a good at least 100 episodes or more worth of content that we just want to talk about. But we also want to know what you want to hear about.
Totally.
I mean, you may be interested in hearing a little more about, I don't know, any sorts of, who knows, medications that can help your lifting.
Yeah, maybe you want to know specifically about creatine,
but
or
maybe
about
you don't care.
SARMs, or
maybe you're just like, I want to hear more about how to lose weight. So we want to know what to do based on what our feedback is. And just a heads up for the future, we have really been talking about doing cooking episodes that we want to post online, how to cook certain different types of meals that are helpful for maybe high in protein, maybe good for weight loss, whatever else. Because, I mean, Tenny has a passion for food, and I have a passion for eating food. And so that works out.
It's a good combo.
Yep. And so we're going to do that. If you want to hear about, I don't know, maybe if you want to hear about how to make your own podcast, or how to film yourself or take good pictures of your lifting progress, I mean, that's something I have some experience in too. So just shout out to us what you'd like to learn about, and we've got the time. We're happy to teach about it.
Totally. And kind of going back to how we suck at social media.
Yeah.
We're also like,
don't ask for advice.
I'm pretty good at cooking, but I'm bad at food photography. So one of our next things is Jared kind of helping to figure out food photography and how we can put some of these pictures of these dishes that we're going to be making on Instagram and make them look appealing. Because that's something I didn't realize was so difficult. Yeah. I can plate the food and make it look really nice, but then you take a picture of it with your phone and there's 80 pieces of glare coming off the plate.
Yeah.
So that's going to be another big thing, is to really try to get into the culinary side of this and show you how you can make good fitness food that doesn't taste like garbage.
Yeah, I would love to do that. I mean, I was just talking to Tenny today about it. I've got to go up on my calories again. I'm eating like I'm supposed to be eating almost like 2,400 calories now. I know people losing weight would just roll over hearing that, but it's kind of difficult because I try and eat healthy too. And I go on some clinic's website and I'm looking up, healthy foods that are higher in calories because I don't want to eat a bunch of sugar. And they're like,
this is hilarious.
First of all, you're going to want to avoid junk food and soda and stuff like that, because that's just going to put the weight straight in your belly. So it's like, all right, let's see what some of the recommendations are. And some of the recommendations.
And this is right after that warning of avoiding junk food. This is what they list as their recommendations.
One of them was 3 chocolate chip cookies with a glass of chocolate milk. Another one was like a Costco blueberry muffin
with a vanilla latte.
With a vanilla latte. Another one was just like a milk chocolate bar. I'm like, all right, this is not good. These aren't good recommendations.
Yeah, these are terrible.
These are high in calories because they're full of sugar.
Yeah, it's like, don't eat junk food, but hey, 3 chocolate chip cookies, a Costco muffin, and a vanilla latte. Those are where it's at. And these are from like a clinic's website.
I know.
So,
oh gosh,
this just ties back to what we were saying, where you really can't trust everything on the internet.
Yeah, that's why we do this. Because I mean, imagine if you're a person that's like, I need to bulk. What do I do? And it's like, well, why don't you just eat 3 chocolate chip cookies?
Right, and especially with the whole argument of authority, where it's like, oh, well, an expert's saying it, so it must be good. Yeah. Like, I don't care if the best nutritionist in the world is telling you that the healthiest option for your breakfast is to eat 3 cookies. They're wrong. I don't care where their degree's from. That's bad information.
Exactly.
They can be right on 99% of things, but there's still that one thing that they can be wrong about. So
yeah. So I hope
always
you're getting to the
scrutinize.
point that you don't have to really ask us if it's a good idea to drink lattes and eat cookies to get your calories up.
Yeah.
I mean, if you drink latte and eat cookies, that's one thing, but it's another thing to do it thinking that it's really healthy.
Right. That's my bulking strategy.
Yeah. So the point of that was I'm excited to talk about food more because I understand that there's a lot of intricacies in it. You know, some foods are more satiating. They make you more full than others.
Totally.
Some are going to be high protein, low calories. Some are going to be high protein, high calories. Some are low protein and low calories. You know, stuff that's just filler food that maybe you should avoid. How to make fish taste good. How to make your wife not hate you if you eat fish. Stuff like that.
It's an important one.
That's one we're still working on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So be there for that. It's going to be exciting.
It'll be a bit for that one because we're still trying to figure that out.
Yeah, but other stuff we can help now.
Yeah.
So we'll get the food one out soon. Anyways, is there anything else you wanted to hit?
I don't think so.
Well,
I think that about sums it up for this episode.
Yeah, thanks so much for listening. Again, this episode is just an appreciation for you, our listeners. We really love you guys. We're so excited that this is being listened to, even despite all of our inadequacies at social media, that people are sharing it with their friends. That's so exciting for us. Keep doing it, and we will see you on the next episode.